All right, hey there, students. I want you to open your book and turn to page 126 and find question number 16. We are going to review how to write a system and how to solve a system by graphing. So the first thing we want to look at is what the problem is telling us. And I know that you can read, so I'm not going to read the question to you. But we do want to identify what our variables represent. So as we read the question, well, I guess I will read it to you. It says a test has 20 questions worth 100 points. The test consists of X true false questions worth 4 points each and Y multiple choice questions worth 8 points each. And the question we would like to answer is how many of each question are on the test. So they tell us what X represents, and X represents the number of true false questions. We're also being told what Y represent, and Y represents the number of multiple choice questions. So always identify your variables. That's going to be very helpful in writing the system of equation. So now that we know what X and Y represents, we can go through and we can kind of formulate or put together our two equations. So within the problem, we are first told in the first sentence two things. We're told that there's 20 questions total, and there's also 100 points total. So this first part where we're being told that there's 20 questions, well, that's going to be our first equation. Since we know there are an X number of true and false questions and there are a Y number of multiple choice questions, then we can simply say that X plus Y is equal to 20. Because that first equation just represents the total number of questions. So whatever X is, whatever Y is, that's the number of questions of each type that give me 20. The second thing that we're told in the problem is that the test is worth 100 points. So that's going to be a separate equation, but for that we need a little more information. Since we know that the total is 100 points, we're also told the point value for each type of question. So the true false questions are worth 4 points each, and the multiple choice questions are worth 8 points each. And we get a total of 100 points. So we take that information, and I know that from earlier that X is a number of true false questions. So that means I can say 4 points for every true false question for X, plus we also know that Y is the number of multiple choice questions, and those are 8 points each. So plus 8Y, and that is equal to 100 points. And so this is going to be our system of equations. We have two standard form equations. We are trying to figure out what X and Y represent. And remember, X represents a number, and it's going to be true false questions. And Y also represents a number or a value, and that's the number of multiple choice questions. And so since we have our two equations written, now we can utilize the calculator and we can find where those two lines intersect, because that's going to be the common solution, because that's the question that we have to answer here. How many of each type of question on the test are there? So that's what we want to determine. So let's go to our calculator and let's see if we can determine that.